You know, you have a point.
Send him to prison. Lock him up.
Seriously, you take any season of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., you squeeze it all the way down to just the events that happen, what moves the Marvel Universe forward, and you have essentially any 2 episodes of CW show. Any CW show. Yeah. Talk about your illusion of movement.
Because they could have did so much with Graviton.
Graviton's a boring character.
No.
That's all they get on S.H.I.E.L.D.
That was
S.H.I.E.L.D.
That character's not born in a book.
That's all they get are C and D level characters.
The character in the book is...
The character in the book was kind of boring, too.
Strategic Homeland Intervention, Enforcement, and Logistics Division.
And what does that mean to you?
It means someone really wanted our initials to spell out S.H.I.E.L.D.
Being scooped up by a guy clad in head-to-toe leather is a long-time fantasy of mine, so thanks.
Your world is crazy.
But some people without brains do an awful lot of talking, don't they?
Oh, you should put that speech on tape.
He pulls a knife, you pull a gun. He sends one of yours to the hospital, you send one of his to the morgue. That's the Chicago way.
Hello, Chicago, hello.
Hello.
Hello. Gotta drink to that.
Welcome to Alternate Reality.
That's all they have to work with. They won't give them any
They can do
decent
nothing with Crusher Creel.
He wasn't the focus of every episode. His character, there's nothing wrong with him. But he wasn't the focus of every episode.
No, it was them. Oh, check this out. The person that played Daisy came out and said that ABC told her to change her name.
To what?
Chloe Bennett. Her last name isn't Bennett.
What?
She's Asian.
What, her stage name?
Yeah, her stage name.
Well, she's from here.
Why should she change her name?
She's not changing her name.
It is changed.
To what? Is it still Chloe?
Yeah, that part is, but the last name is.
What is this, like Siddiq Al-Fadir from Deep Space Nine?
Yeah,
he changed his name.
Dr. Bashir? I'm not Dr. Bashir.
No, but his real name, I forget what his name was before, but then he changed it halfway through the run to
Alexander Siddig.
Alexander Siddig. But he was Alexander Siddig.
Yeah.
Then he changed to Siddig Al, whatever it was, to be more ethnic, I guess. I don't know. But he wanted to get rid of the Alexander Siddig part because that's not who he was.
Cut down the casting.
That's like Cary Grant. I'm going to change my name back to Charlie Leach.
You know, he'd have been interesting as Charlie.
No, he wouldn't.
Chuck Leach. Chucky Leach, baby. I'm Chucky Leach.
North by Northwest starring Chuck Leach.
By C. Leach.
That would have been great. You know what? Filmstruck just ended recently.
Yeah, but Filmstruck's not dead. It's restructured. It's not dead.
It's probably going to be part of that Warner's thing. Since it's all Warner stuff.
Actually, it's the Warner's people talked about the streaming service this week, but no, it's a completely different group.
Yeah, well, they got this 3-tiered thing that they want to do, which is like, let's just make the world even that much more complicated and make us even less likely to have anybody pick us up. Yeah, we're going to make it a 3-tiered thing where the bottom tier is like your basic service, and then your second tier up, and of course, they all have different prices attached to them. Yeah. Your next tier up is going to be like your expanded cable service. Yeah. And then your top tier...
The top tier is beamed directly into your head.
Yeah, beamed directly into your head. And that's something I've been thinking out a lot for this podcast. Yes. Wouldn't it be great if we just beam it into people's heads? Folks, let us know. Do you want us to just beam this podcast directly into your head every week, or would you rather just go out and find it? Because we've been working on technology.
The beaming thing is pretty good.
You ever see the movie called Brainstorm? It doesn't work.
No. This wouldn't blow up anyone's. Head.
Blown up.
Oh, it's Scanners. I'm thinking of.
No, this is Brainstorm. No. This was Natalie Wood's last movie.
It was Douglas Turnbull directed it.
Yeah.
Cliff Robertson was in there,
and Christopher Walken.
And Christopher Walken.
Right.
Christopher Walken.
I like cake.
Yeah. And we like the alternate reality. Hey, folks, welcome to the show's podcast, The Alternate Reality, coming to you from Alternate Reality, the best little comic book store on the face of the earth, located at the intersection of 111th and Kedzie in beautiful downtown Mount Greenwood. Alternate Reality, where all new comics are always 15% off every day for everyone. All new first issues are 25% off on the day they come out. That's our first day sale. And, of course, all new comics are always up and ready to go at 7 a.m. every New Comic Wednesday here at Alternate Reality. Stop on down. Nobody else has new comics, 7 a.m., New Comic Wednesday at 15% off, 25% off first issues. My name's Comic Book Man, and joining me today are the two men who know more about news than almost anyone else on the face of the earth.
Too much pressure.
Well, one of them does. And that, of course, is the one, the only Rod Flash.
Hi.
And his sidekick, the one and only newsman himself, Bocepheus.
I ain't no sidekick, man.
Yeah, you ain't no sidekick. Well, you boys fight it out, and let me know when you figure it out. And we're coming to you today with an all-news update, except no comic book news. This is going to be an all-media and an all-wrestling/fight update for the news. And we're going to start off with media. We'll get to wrestling in the second half of the show. But we're going to start off with media news and, of course, four-color news, comic book, movies, and TV. And we're going to start off with Daredevil getting the heave-ho over at Netflix in the wake of Iron Fist and Luke Cage getting the heave-ho.
These things always happen on Fridays. So it's kind of weird.
It's the end of the week. It's the best day to dump news.
Actually, it was Thursday, but then Friday became weird. Netflix and Marvel announced there would be no Daredevil Season 4. Then the following day, Netflix and Marvel said that Daredevil would be seen again.
But not on Netflix.
No, they just said seen again. They didn't see where.
Well, he might show up on Punisher or Jessica Jones.
Punisher and Jessica Jones are already done shooting.
Which haven't been canned yet.
They're already done shooting.
Yeah, but they haven't been
canned yet. So you're not going to be squeezing them in there. So something else. Now, rumor said, well, okay, all these shows are moving to Disney+. Saturday said, no. The contracts are not set up for that. The contract between Netflix and Marvel are not the same as the contracts between Disney Sirius and Disney+. They're two different companies, basically. The Disney shows on streaming are the movie people. The Disney shows on Netflix are the TV people. They don't talk to each other.
Okay, but Disney is still setting up its streaming service. Yes. I assume they're going to have a TV component.
Yes, and they've already
announced... So there you go.
They've already
announced into that.
Well, they've already announced that you're going to do the Scarlet Witch and Vision show. You already announced the Nick Fury thing. You've already announced the Winter Soldier Falcon thing. Those are the first three projects. And Loki. Yeah, and Tom Hiddleston said, yes, I'm in. So those are the first four things. If we see these Daredevil characters, these Netflix characters again, it won't be until we see those first four.
You could have these characters show up on Scarlet Witch, or you could have these characters show up on Loki, or Nick Fury. Nick Fury
specifically, or Falcon Winter Soldier. That would be easy.
That's what Nick Fury's original job was, to round up these heroes.
Is have them hook up.
And put them together.
But yeah, they said the contracts are complicated. So they're not moving to Disney+. If they are, it's not going to be anytime soon. But that doesn't mean the people playing the characters are not going to play them anymore, because Marvel could go, well, we can do movies using you.
So they might roll them into the movie universe?
They might roll them into the movie universe. Okay. Proper.
Well, that would be good, because then they could take the place of Chris Evans, who we're never going to see again, playing Captain America after the next Avengers movie comes out.
Joe Russo says, no, that's not true.
Yeah!
Russo says, well, it's not over yet, but I can't explain why it's not over yet, because Avengers 4 isn't out yet. They also said that they were talking about including the Netflix characters in the movies, but the contracts made it so much of a pain in the butt, it's why they didn't do it. But yes, Chris Evans is done. At least we think he's done.
Technically, he's done.
But
not specifically he's
done. Which
means
means something's happening with Captain America's Chris Evans in Avengers 4, which will suggest he may be popping up again, but maybe not popping up on screen.
Well, a block of ice again?
It could be a block of ice.
Going back in the ice?
He could be popping up in the Spider-Man Homecoming follow-up. We don't know. He popped up in the first one. So he's done, but he's not done. And Evans could also change.
Okay, refresh my memory on the Chris Evans contract.
Yes. It's over with.
And he's done Captain America, Winter Soldier, Civil War. Yeah. He did 4 Avengers movies. Right. That's 7 movies.
Yeah. His contract's up.
I think that's what they all signed for, Regina.
Yeah, he signed for 7
pictures.
See, like same thing like with Chris Hemsworth. Hemsworth said, yes, my contract's officially up, but I don't mind playing Thor again. I like playing Thor again. I'm having fun. Nick Fury, Sam Jackson's contract, is up as well. So he still pops back up. But yeah, it's a 7-year deal. When you sign 7, you're done. And Evans has said for a while, I'd like to direct and be behind the scenes stuff instead of acting. But then he also said, well, if Marvel calls me, then I'm like, okay. But yeah, we don't know how Avengers 4 is going to end. And so therefore he might be popping up again. We don't know. He could be a voice in Bucky's head.
Okay.
We don't know.
And we got 4 months till they comes out.
Well, yeah, Sebastian Stan's going to be putting the outfit on at some point, you're assuming. And so maybe he'll be advising him, and he won't be wearing the costume.
Or they may make Chris Evans old. They may take the serum out of him and make him old.
Yeah, it never works in the comics.
Because if you do that, then all of a sudden they go, so when's he get the serum back?
You know, that's the type of thing you do for a dream sequence or something, or a parallel Earth thing or something. Yeah. Something where you can do it, but not be married to it.
Yeah. Because it doesn't work that way. They'll go, no, and they'll go, well, I'm in.
Don't forget, Thanos has the gauntlet. He can do it. Somebody reverses
what
it.
we do know about Avengers 4 is you're going to be seeing a whole bunch of older versions and younger versions of the characters throughout the 3-hour run of the movie. And yes, it's 3 hours.
Oh.
They said it's 3 hours, and that's it. 3 hours total.
It'll be a fast 3 hours.
Well, some 3-hour movies come off as 2, some 3-hour movies come off as drudges. So.
This is Lord of the Rings territory now.
Nah, well, I have no interest in those things.
Those were 3-hour movies.
I have no idea.
And they felt like 2 days.
I have no idea.
I just recently saw a nearly 3-hour movie again for the first time in 40 years last weekend. Superman the movie. I went to go see the Phantom event. They did the re-release for the 40th anniversary.
Actually, when I went to the movies on
I
Tuesday,
forgot that was a 3-hour movie.
Yeah, when I went,
and then right at 3 hours, and with the extra footage and the special editions, it's like 3:45.
Yeah, because when I went to the movies on Tuesday, they had a 7:00 show, but I'm like, well, I'm already movied out at this point, so I'm just going to go home.
Well, I think you have to pre-order the tickets.
No, I got to walk right then and there.
Oh.
Yeah.
You know, I've seen that movie at least 100 times. Probably when it first came out, 10 to 12 times on a big screen. Was one of the reasons I wanted to go back and see it again. Because it'll probably be the last time I'll ever see it on a big screen again. Even though this is video projection, and it wasn't like a film being run. I'm not looking at celluloid. I'm looking at a video projection of it.
You're looking at digital.
Yeah, I'm looking at a digital projection of it. And you know what the funny thing is? The picture didn't have quite the same texture to it, because I remember what the original looked like. Mm-hmm. And the difference between celluloid and watching a digital projection, I can tell the difference between the two. They color corrected the costume throughout the entire thing. The colors are stable with the costume from the first scene he's in costume to the last scene he's in costume. The blue, the red, and the yellow, they're all consistent. They're all stable. And they're all pumped. The blue is like really blue, not obnoxiously blue, but it's like blue, and the red is like really red, and the yellow is really yellow. And I'm looking at that and I'm going, oh, this is their answer to that crappy costume that they had in Man of Steel and Justice League and Batman versus Superman. You know, where you mute the colors down. This is the exact opposite of that. This is what the character was originally intended to be. When Donner did it, and this is what the character's supposed to be. You know, it's funny, I was telling JR this, no matter how many times I've seen that thing, and like I said, it's probably been close to 100 times I've watched that movie. There are scenes in that movie that are still affecting on some levels. Clark and Ma standing in the cornfield before he leaves.
Right.
Clark and Jor-El in the fortress for the first time. When Lois gets saved the first time.
Yeah.
You know, I'm watching that stuff and I'm thinking to myself, damn, this is still hitting me. Even all these years later, that stuff still works. It's just a great film. I just love that film. But you know what's even better than the Superman the movie?
What?
Kingsman.
Manners make men.
Not on their best friggin' day.
Hey, the first one was pretty good.
Not on their best day.
The first one was pretty good.
But you got a Kingsman story, so there's your bridge.
Yes. The next Kingsman film will be Kingsman: The Great Game. It is a prequel. It's got Daniel Bruhl, Charles Dance, who's in everything, Watchmen's Matthew Good, yes, he works, and Amazing Spider-Man's Rhys Ifans.
So what's the hook on this one? The last one was American Kingsman. We're being rolled in. What's the hook on this one?
This is the beginning of the entire Kingsman division of spies. It's a Cold War thriller.
Oh, it's an origin story.
It's an origin story. Matthew Vaughn says he'll do that. Then he'll bring back Taron Egerton and Colin Firth to finish off their story. Then after that, you're going to get a Kingsman TV show, which he says will not be what you expect at all.
That's going to HBO, I believe, right?
Probably. Well, he doesn't say what, but yeah, it's going to be.
I think I saw something.
Whoa. HBO?
Yes, I read some
of Mark Millar, isn't it? Netflix?
Those films, that property was sold before the Netflix deal, which means it can't go to Netflix.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
It belongs to Fox, which actually belongs to Marvel. Disney, because it's a Disney production now. No, it could, if it wasn't going to HBO, it would go to Disney.
That damn mouse.
You go to Disney Plus because, yes, that character belongs to Disney now.
Okay. What's your final story?
Jesus.
Oh, Jesus. Oh,
you watched the finale, right?
Yes. Yes, that was one of the best endings I saw in a long time.
That was the last time we will see Tom Payne's Jesus Monroe.
That was a surprise. I assumed that he was moving up and do bigger and better things like the characters in the comic.
Right. Well, he decided, probably last year, he said, I spend a lot of time in the background looking soulful and don't have much to do. We come up with another season. I'm spending a lot of time looking soulful and don't have anything to do. I'd like to leave, please.
Well, he asked if he could do anything with me.
Yeah, and he basically said, because
like they do in the comic.
Yeah, because he goes, in the comic, he does all this stuff, and we're not doing this stuff here. And he said, well, not really. And he says, well, I can leave. I've got this liquor commercial, which is making me a lot of money besides this Walking Dead thing. And so he was bumped off by the Whispers. And he also said that he thought the Aaron relationship with him and Aaron was a little weird. And he came up as lazy writing because he's like, well, I'm gay and you're gay. Why don't we do it together? It's like, could you come up with another gay person for me to be involved with? Why is it because we're both major players and we're gay? We had to hook up. Well, but that was a shock, though. Him dying was a shock. I'm like,
yeah, I wasn't expecting that.
Like, they killed Jesus. They killed him.
The way they did it, though.
Because it was his last episode.
That's why he was doing all the... I saw that. Right. I was looking at that going... Right. They said something major happened because I missed the first part. Yeah. I watched the second part. Why you... Oh, I get it. You're killing him off because you let him do all this samurai stuff all and everything.
Stuff that he's fully capable of doing. You let him be a badass at the end. And so we're going to kill you like that. And it's a shocking death. Man, he killed Jesus. Oh, my God.
So was that a joke that the Whispers whispered into his ear and said, you're not supposed to be
No, it's not a joke. The Whispers are weird, twisted, and strange, and they have a very strange idea about the world. And he said, the way they are in the comic, that's exactly how they're going to be in the show.
Great.
Oh, man.
They're not normal.
No, they're not.
They've got their own worldview, and it doesn't make any sense to anyone other than them. And this is going to continue on the show.
So in the comic, Negan helps
them.
Not the Whispers.
He helps Rick. Rick's no longer
who's no longer there.
Who's no longer there.
So I'm assuming that now that Negan is out of jail, since somebody left the door open.
Yeah.
After 5 years.
Yes. No, he didn't escape. He was let to go.
No, what he did was he was needling Gabriel over and over saying, well, you should have heard what Rosita was saying underneath the thing now. She said a lot of stuff about you.
You would think after 5 years, people would know his crap by now and wouldn't listen to anything he says.
Well, with Gabriel...
really, all he does is screw with your head.
Well, that was my punishment had to come down here and listen to you. No, the cell was left open. Was it Gabriel? Maybe not.
Well...
Maybe the guy who unlocked his handcuffs unlocked the cell.
Maybe Steve McQueen did it. Because Steve McQueen used to sit in the cooler and throw a baseball against the wall, too.
Yeah, he was a cooler king.
Yeah.
And so,
Negan is the cooler king.
So, he goes back to where he is, and he's whistling. But if you think he's going to act the way he acts...
No.
He's not. They said, don't expect what you think you're going to see from him. Don't expect it.
Well, that's been 6 years.
Well, he's been there all that time. He's become Uncle Negan.
Okay, well, Rick's off the table.
Right.
Jesus is off the table. Maggie is off the table some way, shape, or form. She didn't show up, and they didn't say anything about her.
Yeah,
she's got her FBI show.
Yeah, she left. She walked away. Yeah, she left with her kid.
So she's off the table. So you look around, who's left? You got Daryl. You got Negan. Yeah. I assume they're going to kill...
you got Michonne, and you got...
Michonne. Well, I assume they're going to kill the king off next season. They seem to be hinting towards that.
Maybe.
Yeah.
You're kind of running out of characters to keep bumping people off.
Well, I think Negan works much better in the current situation they have as being, if not the new Rick, at least the new co-leader of the group.
Because apparently if you follow the comics, Negan knows exactly how weird the Whispers are.
But he also knows how to deal with the Whispers. Yeah. And they don't.
They have no idea. And
they've been through a lot of crap, but they've never had to deal with something like the Whispers.
Yeah, and I'm sure when they show up, well, they're here. Well, this isn't going to work out for me well at all. Because these people are nuts. I'm crazy, but they're crazier.
Okay. And we're going to take a break right after this. Hey folks, Comic Book Man here. Most people don't know this, but I got my start in comics retail on February 20th, 1978, when I became the store manager of the Comic Book Emporium. 16 years later, I opened Alternate Reality on August 20th, 1994. Like Superman's penchant for double L's, it seems the 20th has always been an important part of my life. I respect that heritage, which is why we have a Founders Day sale on the 20th of each month here at the store. Every 20th, stop by and you'll save 20% off all of your purchases all day long, only at Alternate Reality. And we're back. Bo.
Yeah?
What's up with
Star Wars?
Star Wars.
Nothing but Star Wars.
Okay, Bill Murray. What's up with Star Wars?
Diego Luna's Rogue One Cassian Andor is getting a spin-off series from Disney+. The Disney series The Mandalorian will star Pedro Pascal, Gina Carano, Nick Nolte, and Carl Weathers.
I thought Disney slammed the brakes on all this stuff.
No, this is the TV stuff. This is
the TV stuff too. I thought it was across the board.
No.
They put a temporary hold on everything.
Bob Iger said, we never said we were stopping. people just assumed it.
Nick Nolte and Carl Weathers.
He was just added. Yeah, Nick Nolte's also going through a career renaissance. 10-episode first series, got the directors. 2 episodes directed by Dave Filoni, who did the Star Wars Rebels thing. Taika Waititi, Thor Ragnarok. Rick Famuyiwa, who did Belly and a whole bunch of other stuff. Deborah Chow, female director. And Bryce Dallas Howard, who's apparently can direct. She got an independent film coming out by the end of the year. They're going to direct 2 of the 10 episodes. But yeah, the TV stuff's going. They had a reunion this week. You had all the Marvel guys hanging out together, all the Marvel directors. They were on the set because Jon Favreau's producing it. He took a group picture. They're all standing together going, "Hi, look, we're here. Yeah, we're working."
So there's no halt at Disney right now?
There's no halt at all.
Why do I keep reading all these news stories?
People kept saying, no, what Iger said was, we're not going to do a film every year. We're going to do it every other year.
Yeah.
We figured we were like overdoing it.
Moving on, Bond 20. What's up with Bond 20?
Cary Fukunaga is directing Bond 20. He's also playing a sticking around for 21.
Really?
He's hanging out, but yeah, he's already coming up with an idea for the film.
So he's going to be there, but Craig won't be?
Yeah, so he'll be directing Craig's last film and the new guy's first film.
So he's your crossover.
He's your crossover guy. 20 will circle back to the story that began with Casino Royale. So it'll go all the way around. He says, any rumors about casting, like, well, you won't see Blofeld and you won't see Q. Said, we're not even done with the script yet. We don't know yet. Stop talking about stuff that isn't done yet. I know what I want to do. And he's like, I'm not even working on the action sequences. They're going to go with the film that we're making. So I'm not going with any preconceived notions, which means he's thinking ahead. Number one candidate to be replaced Bond is, I guess, the guy from the Bodyguard Netflix show. He was in Game of Thrones, Richard Madden.
Yeah.
Apparently, he's pushing himself up to be the number one contender to play Bond. So he's in his 30s. So. He was good in Game of Thrones. And apparently this Bodyguard thing's pretty good. I haven't watched any episodes yet. But apparently he's quite good in this thing. He said it looks like a Bond film that's just on TV.
Okay. Sylvester Stallone, he's not going to be Rocky anymore?
I'm retired.
Why?
I'm retired.
So does he get killed in Creed 2?
No, he doesn't get killed in Creed 2, which is what's interesting. He says, look, I've said everything I need to say with the character. The character's left at a point where there's really nothing else for me to talk about. Well, so we're going to go with Creed Adonis Creed and go on from there. He said, I thought I was done with Rocky Balboa. Then they said, well, why don't we do this Creed story? And he says, okay, I'll do the Creed story. They said, well, why don't you do this Creed 2 story? He said, okay, I'll do the Creed 2 story. He goes, I'm not getting any younger.
Well, you don't have to. You're Mick now.
Well, yeah, he's
Mick. He doesn't have to get younger.
Well, he's not even Mick.
All he has to do is age gracefully into the role.
Well, technically, he's not even Mick. He's there, but you've also got Wood Harris playing Tony Burton's kid, who's Mick. He's like the sage who tells Creed what to do. And it's a nice ending. The film's pretty well done. It's a nice ending for the character. He goes, I'm too old. He also said, by the way, I'm doing one more Rambo film, which you're shooting right now. And I'm done with that, too.
Talk about being too old. That you're too old.
That one is...
No. Rocky works in Creed because basically he's just a guy in the corner giving him advice.
Yeah.
Rambo's an action film.
Rambo Last Blood is Logan. He's doing Logan.
So basically, he's going to get shot and he's going to be holding his side down slowly but surely.
So are you telling me adamantium poisoning is killing Rambo?
They hung out together. Oh, man. Yeah, it's out of adamantium. So no more Rocky, no more John Rambo.
If he doesn't get an Oscar for this, the nomination be done.
He doesn't deserve an Oscar for anything Rocky or Rambo. He got his one Oscar for Rocky back in the first one.
That was the screenplay. He wanted one for the
actually, the character's not that big a stretch.
No, actually for Creed, he was probably one of the best candidates for supporting actor. Creed 2, he's basically doing the same thing. He's got the same lines. You can say what you will about Stallone. He's got a great ear for dialogue as a screenwriter. And he knows how to act.
Yeah.
He's not a slab of beef. But to highlight a Creed 2, Dolph Lundgren is damn good in that film. Dolph Lundgren is amazingly good in this film.
He's apparently he found the fountain of youth because he was hyping the movie up big time. He was on Stephen Colbert a couple of nights before the movie came out and was doing the Drago character. I was like, oh hell, Drago's on there.
Lundgren's a guy who could act as well, but people went, he's a model, he's a beefcake guy, and he's stupid. He has a degree in chemical engineering. He's not stupid. The man's pretty smart. But no, if you see the film, he is great in this thing.
And you know what else he did? He went toe-to-toe with Arrow.
That was the first part of the Dolph Lundgren Renaissance. That's what started him back up again.
So he's making a comeback.
He's making a comeback.
Our final story involves Alien.
Yes.
Alien is coming back yet again.
No, Alien's not coming back.
Oh, it's not coming back.
They had a plan.
Ever again.
Well, that's also a film there's also a franchise that now belongs to Disney.
Yes, Disney owns Alien.
And so we don't know where that's going to go. But
I'm sure it'll make a ride out of it.
Oh,
theme park or
something.
something. I can just see the roller coasters coming out of the alien's mouth.
The chest
But
bursting.
the next film was going to be called Alien Awakening. John Logan had written a screenplay which had Michael Fassbender's character David go to the return of the engineers, either go to the engineers' homeworld or go to the planet first seen in the first Alien film. And that would have wrapped it up. It was done, it was ready to go, and then, of course, the deal went through, and it sort of went the way of all flesh. And there are also rumors that maybe you'll see a streaming Alien TV series.
I figured they could do this and tie it up because those last two made money. Prometheus made money.
They made more money on video than they did in the theaters, but they both broke even and made enough money to justify another one.
But when I went to go see Prometheus, that was not an empty seat there. First time in a while, I went to a theater and every seat was full.
Well, the problem with the Prometheus and the other film was people sat there and went, "This is an alien film. You're making us think. We don't want to think. This is an alien film."
But Alien is not
the first Alien film
monkey.
made me think.
The first, yeah. Then the second film was a roller coaster ride, and everyone was supposed to be different.
Oh, they wanted it like an action type of.
It's like looking at Alien 3. When you look at Alien 3 now, the first question you ask is, why did you get in David Fincher's way? That would be the first question everyone asks.
No, everybody asked that back then.
Yeah,
too.
They were asking it back then too, but now even more. If you pick up the Dark Horse book, that's the David Fincher film.
Alien started off with each film being different.
Completely different.
But still being about the alien and still being about that character apparently working its way towards Earth. Yeah. Some way, shape, or form.
And then there'd be this big fight.
But they're all different. The great thing about the second film was it was so much different from the first film, but it was a logical progression from the first film. And so there were always great hopes for the third film, which would have happened if they would have stayed the hell out of David Fincher's way.
If they said, Fincher and Gibson, okay, you guys are fine, do whatever you want to do.
Yeah.
So if you want to know what that film would have looked like, pick up the Dark Horse Limited series.
So in other words, it was sort of like Godfather 1, Godfather 2, and then come in Godfather 3 and be
But yeah. Well,
sort of, kind
of. Godfather 3's biggest problem is you waited too long and you didn't have a character other than Michael to give a crap about.
Well, your through character in the Godfather films is Michael. Your through character is Ripley in the Alien films. Ripley is the only survivor
she goes
in each of those films.
Boom, boom, boom.
So you're following her story, but Sigourney Weaver also wanted out of the franchise by the time you got to the third film. She did the third film under contract. Her contractually had character had to get killed, which is fine. That's not what screwed up that film.
No, what screwed up the film was this is the Planet of Wood. What? You had the shopping mall in space idea, which was fine.
Yeah. I remember that one.
Okay, and that's going to do it for media news. We're going to take a break, and when we come back, we're going to switch gears totally, and we're going to go into the ring and do wrestling news right after this. And we're going to take a break, but we'll be back right after this. Good grades deserve a reward, and at Alternate Reality, we make that an actuality. If you're a grade schooler in the Chicagoland area and you get a report card, then you're eligible to join our Good Grades Club. Each A gets you a 2% discount, and each B a 1% discount, up to a possible total of 25% off based on your grades for this marking period. Just bring in your current report card, and we'll issue you a Good Grades Club card, and every time you make a purchase, that's the discount you'll get. So stop by the store and get the discount you deserve for your good grades. And we're back. Ding, ding, ding. It's time for wrestling news. Bo.
Yes.
What's going on with the WWE's NXT?
Carrie Sign said on Twitter this week she might have had hand, foot, and mouth disease.
Good. From what?
Well, she doesn't know because basically it's something that.
Oh, did she go to McDonald's and eat off one of those kiosks?
She didn't go to McDonald's.
And feces all over.
But she had a high fever, and then all of a sudden her hands, feet, and mouth had this eczema. She's feeling better now because that affects kids who are under the age of 5. And if it hits an adult, it's really, really painful.
It's also
ridiculously contagious.
Yes, I had a bass player that had that disease.
Yeah. Well, where'd she get it from?
She doesn't know.
Well, did they do tests?
They're doing tests
and find out what it was.
They're trying to figure out what it is. It's like water or something she was exposed to. But apparently she says, I'm feeling much better now than I was because I was like, what the hell's wrong with my hands? Well, she said it in Japanese. So I don't know what's in Japanese. She's feeling a little better now. Much better.
There's new talent at the WWE.
They're signing a whole bunch of people. They're signing talent from everywhere in the entire world.
But why?
For one, you've got NXT and you've got NXT UK. So you're talking about opening up performance centers all over the world. So you signed Punishment Martinez from Ring of Honor. He's at NXT. He'll be popping up on TV now. Walter, an independent European independent who says he has no interest in being in the main roster. He just wants to work on NXT or NXT Europe. He says, I don't feel like traveling a lot. But Walter's a big guy like Keith Lee who can do almost anything humanly possible in a ring. Every match that I've heard about, he's doing this like 4 and 5 star matches every time he goes out. Also, Lucha Underground Season 4 will probably never happen. There are a bunch of people who are working over there who are looking over at the WWE going, I'd like to work there. But Triple H's idea is to sign as much talent as humanly possible. And he's, even though development doesn't make a lot of money, it was never intended to make money. So if they lose money, they don't care.
Okay. The biggest event that happened this year, indie-wise, is probably All In.
All In.
It made huge amount of money. It made a huge amount of noise, and it proved that a couple of guys can get together if they know what they're doing, and they got a little bit of money. They can put together a show that rivals anything the WWE does. Of course, the question then becomes: is there going to be an All In 2?
Apparently, there's going to be an All In 2.
Thank God.
They filed a bunch of trademarks in Jacksonville, Florida. The owner of the Jacksonville Jaguars, Kid, is coming up with a whole bunch of money to finance this. They trademarked All Elite Wrestling, AEW All Out, AEW Double or Nothing, Tuesday Night Dynamite, and AEW Double or Nothing. Young Bucks will be in there. Cody Reynolds, of course, is in it. Kenny Omega is a free agent. All these guys are free agents in January. And so, All In 1 made a whole bunch of money. All In 2 probably be in Florida, because most of this money's coming from Florida. We'll do the same thing, and you'll have a whole bunch of talent popping up who just like to wrestle in front of people. And because people want, are they going to the WWE? Is Reynolds going back to the... He says, no, I kind of like to write my own music for a while. I'm having fun doing what I'm doing right now.
I got a question. How come Kenny Omega has never been picked up by the WWE? What's their problem?
Kenny Omega has been rumored to come into the WWE for a while. John Cena tried to recruit him. A whole bunch of other people want him in there. Omega's idea is, I'm not ready to go there just yet, but I'd like to be able to travel all over the world and do these 5-star matches, and I'm making enough money that I don't need to work for the WWE. And that's what Cody's saying. I don't need you. I'm making enough money as it is. And the Young Bucks are making money off t-shirts. Those Bullet Club t-shirts, all those shirts that are selling Hot Topic, they're making way more money now than they would have ever made anywhere else. And the Bucks are also a couple of tag team that will end up in the WWE. Just a matter of time.
If they do All In 2, the guy I'm hoping is in there, who wasn't in the first one.
Yes.
But he's a free agent. They can pick him up.
He's free.
Is Enzo.
Yeah, he's free.
He's great.
He's free. What? Yo, what?
Enzo.
Say what?
Oh, Enzo Amore.
Say
I'm
what?
referring to Enzo Amore.
He's what?
The guy with the microphone?
Yeah.
Yeah, the guy with the hot mic. He's great.
Okay.
Enzo had a very interesting week.
Yeah.
Survivor Series
Deerland?
Well, he was kicked off a flight from New York to Los Angeles before takeoff because he was vaping on the plane.
Vaping on the plane. Well, that's great.
And they said, you can't do that. And he said,
don't you know who I am? I'm Enzo Amore. I can vape on a plane.
Yeah, what are you talking about? And he said, sir, you can't do that. So they kicked him off the plane. And Delta said, by the way, you can't fly on any Delta flights here at this airport ever.
He got kicked off with Delta?
He got kicked off with Delta, which means he really screwed up because you'd have to kill someone to be kicked off with Delta.
Well, apparently kill someone or vape.
He wasn't arrested. I mean, he says, well, there was another guy vaping, and I just have to be standing next to the guy when he was vaping. That's where the cops stopped me. Then he went to Survivor Series, and he started acting up during the AOP versus the Bar Tag Team match. He showed up at the Staples Center in disguise.
Oh, yeah, I heard about this.
We were watching it. Remember, there was something going on in the audience.
Yeah.
And I'm like, there's something going on in the audience. I think I said to you this. He got up, he took the disguise off, he stood up, and he started doing catchphrases. And security tossed him from the building, and they told him, you are effectively banned forever from the Staples Center. You can never come in here ever again.
That's okay. There's lots of other venues around the country you can go to and get thrown out.
He probably, they're better. I've been kicked out of better places than this.
There's at least 50 more venues across the United States that WWE goes to he can get thrown out of.
Oh, by the way, since we're talking about Survivor Series, you know who gets it next year? We do.
Chicago
gets the weekend. We get SmackDown that Friday. We get the NXT TakeOver show. We get the Survivor Series.
And we get the
Monday Night Raw.
Oh,
they're going to be here for a week.
Oh, man.
They're going to be here for a whole week next year.
Going off topic for a minute, you're talking about SmackDown. I was reading somewhere. I guess there's a rumor going around that when Fox picks up SmackDown, they want the WWE to lose a lot of the storyline stuff and to move the product more towards a purer form of wrestling, not high school wrestling or anything like that, but more towards wrestling, I would assume, from
WCW, like.
Yeah, more like WCW.
You were partially correct, sir.
Oh, that's
what
awesome.
Fox told them was no joking, no humor. We want this to be like a sports show.
So I would assume that means New Day is moving to Raw.
Yeah, could be.
Yeah,
because
more Randy Orton type of matches.
They also said they want UFC guy Daniel Cormier as the play-by-play guy.
Yeah, I heard that.
Because he had a tryout to be an announcer. They called him to do his last fight. Said, look, you're going to be on this network. We're going to push the crap out of you, but this show has to be more sports. No toilet humor, no joking stuff. The New Day could probably still do this stuff, but not the way they do it right now.
I'm having trouble seeing this. Okay, the WWE product has been built up around what it is right now. Yeah. Fox wants to take this product and change it. They're paying a buttload of money for something that was successful, and they want it to be something different.
No, they don't mind the wrestling part of it, because SmackDown was always going to look...
Well, good for them. That's what they're buying.
They've always looked as the wrestling show. What they said is, we don't want the jokey crap. We just want to see the wrestling.
That's part of the show.
Not on that one is.
So, again, they pay all this money to get this show, and then when they get this show, they want to start taking components out that make the thing work.
So, you know,
that's like buying...
They don't want personality. They want, athletes, basically, what you're saying.
Well, athletes with personalities. What it is guys on Raw who are better in the ring and athletically inclined and don't do humor quite well will go to SmackDown. A guy like Baron Corbin, well, he'll stay on Raw.
Well, guys like that are boring. There's a reason why you don't see Randy Orton all that much. He's lousy on the mic.
But put him in the ring. Put him in the ring and have him,
Well, that's great. So you've got 20 minutes of Randy Orton in the ring doing great wrestling, but then no storyline afterward.
You're getting Randy Orton over there every once in a while because that's what his contract says. He works less days.
Well, whatever. I'm just using an example. A Randy Orton type wrestler. You're going to fill up a show with Randy Orton type wrestlers who aren't really good on the mic, but who are good in the ring.
Well, no. The Michael Hayes era of running SmackDown was the wrestling show with a lot of silly ass jokes and hardcore wrestling. That's what they want. They want the Michael Hayes SmackDown show.
Well, that's the Attitude Era.
No. This is a couple years ago. Michael Hayes was running a couple years ago. They don't want jokey, silly stuff. They don't want Vince's toilet humor. So you'll get no more toilet jokes. Then again, you won't get that anyway, because by the time we're talking about October, Vince will be busy with his other venue. He won't be paying attention to the shows anyway. Vince is not popping up at every show anymore. His time is becoming a little more of...
So he basically finna go all in with XFL.
He's going all in with XFL, and he's starting to realize, I'm old and I can't be at every show.
Well, that leads us to our next story. XFL.
XFL. The first city to get an XFL team, St. Louis.
Why St. Louis?
No one knows why St. Louis is announced first. I guess it's the first one they signed a deal with.
Okay.
There's going to be 8 locations, 8 teams. They will play at the Dome at America Center, which used to be the Edward Jones Dome, where the Rams played when they were in St. Louis.
Before they moved to
LA in 2016. They also don't have a television media rights deal, so these games are being run on what? We don't know.
Isn't this part of the Fox deal?
No.
I thought FX.
No, this is all.
No, he basically took the $100 million away from.
This is Vince. It's all him.
It's all him.
Yeah, it's all him.
Where's he going to run the shows? In his backyard?
USA would probably run it.
Are you
God, it's Saturday afternoon.
You know what? The reason why I want this to succeed
afternoon programming
is because I want
no
Vince
one's going to
out
watch
of wrestling. That's the only reason I want this to succeed.
He's never going to be out of wrestling.
I want him out of wrestling now because
never going to happen.
He's not proactive with wrestling now.
Because he's like, I'm old.
No, I'm not talking about that. He used to be sharp, and apparently...
Are you saying he's losing it?
Oh, he's past losing it. His best days was he had competition, which was WCW. Well, now since he doesn't have competition, no competition makes you lazy. So now for like the past 8 or 9 years, he's been dragging on like storylines over and over. For instance, Monday's episode had Seth Rollins and Dolph Ziggler. 2 of the best wrestlers on there, but you can't keep putting them on there every week.
They're building them up towards something, aren't they?
Yeah, I mean
isn't that coming up to WrestleMania?
WrestleMania card right now has one definite match and one match that they don't want to talk about. The main event for WrestleMania is Becky versus Ronda. That's the main event. And Brock Lesnar's wrestling, but we don't know at what. Because Lesnar's contract officially ends
WrestleMania.
After Mania.
So he drops the belt after WrestleMania.
He may not have the belt by that point. If Strowman gets the belt, which is possible, He won't have it for long. So,
Yeah.
what's going to happen at Mania is find out who the new face of the company is.
Are they basically crossing their fingers and saying, Roman, get well soon, get well
I
soon,
think Roman's off at the table.
Roman is starting his treatment. Roman popped up at a Florida State game a week or so ago.
Yeah, I saw
He
the
looks
pictures.
great. Whatever form of disease he has could be minor or major. They haven't found that out yet. But no, Roman will not be back by WrestleMania. It's not going to happen.
If everything that's happened with him isn't a work, and I assume it isn't.
Seth didn't know. Seth found out the same night everybody else did. They said about 5 people knew. Vince was one of them. Roman wasn't a doctor. He talked to Vince. Vince knew. Vince talked to a couple other people, and he said, we're going to keep this quiet. We're not going to say anything about this until you go out and you do it. The format says Roman goes out and does a promo. That was the format. So Vince knew what he was going to say. And a couple other people did. Michael Hayes didn't know what to say. And nobody else did.
Okay.
Corey didn't. That's why Corey
had no idea.
Real.
And Corey's like, what the hell?
So, if I would assume then that the upper management at WWE, their attitude is Roman's off the table, period, until such time that he comes back. Life goes on. So between now and if there is ever a day when Roman Reigns comes back, this guy will be the new face of the company.
Yeah.
Because we got to pick somebody.
Yeah, somebody's got to be the face of the company.
Unless they're going to bring Cena back, which I doubt.
No. He's wrestling. He wrestles when he wants to. He said, my career is just about over with. Done. I don't have time.
If they thought that Roman Reigns is coming back anytime soon, I could see them pressing Cena back into being the face of the company for a short run, 6 to 8 months. If they thought Roman was coming back, I don't think they think Roman's coming back anytime soon. So
I don't think
Cena would be pointless. They need to actually pick somebody.
Yeah, I don't think he'd be back anytime until post-Mania, depending on the strain of the disease, how he responds to treatment.
Okay, moving on. MMA news. Cody McKenzie. What's Cody McKenzie up to?
Cody McKenzie, who used to be in the Ultimate Fighter cast, he was suspended for 4 years by the Nevada State Athletic Commission for first refusing to take a drug test before submitting to a fake urine sample. He was supposed to fight on September the 14th. He refused to provide the sample. He said, I got to go back to my room and get some sleep. And then I'll bring a sample in for you. He came back in and they got the sample and he went, this is
dog pee.
This bottle is a little warmer than it needs to be. I mean, usually when you pee in a cup, urine's warm.
Right.
This is really, really, really
It was
warm.
hot.
And then they smelled it and they said, wait a minute, this is Mountain Dew.
No. They basically told him, okay, take your jacket off, take your stuff off. They found a bottle of urine that was found strapped to his leg, which was wrapped in a hand warmer of all things.
Oh, my God.
So he was going to fake that it was natural by warming it up with a hand warmer.
But it was... Oh, my God.
Aside from being suspended for 4 years...
Well, you got to admit, the boy's industrious.
He's also owes the state $944.84 because, we had to go through paperwork and filing charges. Now, Cody McKenzie's other claim to fame before he got cut with the UFC was he showed up in the octagon wearing gym shorts that had the price tag still hanging off.
Oh, what a guy. That sounds like an old Vince McMahon bit.
So he actually thought he'd get away with the hand warmer wrapped around the violet. Yeah.
He'll have to go back to his room. He came back 4 hours later because he kept going, well, I don't want to take my sample right now. I don't want to take my test right now. I really don't want to take my test right now. I got to go back to my room. I left something in my room. Then he comes back.
Strapped it on. Okay, let's get this over
I forgot
with.
something else back in my room. Let me take the test. And so they got the bottle and he went, why
This is hot.
Sir, could you kindly start disrobing? Dumbest UFC guy ever.
Yeah.
This is going to be a tag team. The Doltards.
The
Doltards.
Okay, our final MMA story is a trade.
Which never happens in
Which never happened.
It never happens in MMA. Demetrius Johnson, Mighty Mouse, was traded to one championship for Ben Askren. No one ever gets traded from one organization to the other in MMA. It just doesn't happen. They don't even have working relationships between competitions. Now, Johnson was the UFC flyweight champion, and he was one of the best fighters ever, but DJ's biggest problem was he was boring as crap. Great fighter. Couldn't do an interview to save his life.
Give him a manager. Oh, no, it's wrestling.
No, it's wrestling. Couldn't do it. Said great fighter. He will go down to history one of the best UFC fighters ever. But when you put a microphone in front of him, it was like putting a microphone in front of this bottle of water I got in my hand.
This is where you need Paul Heyman.
Yeah.
This is where Paul Heyman comes in.
This is where we need Paul Heyman. This is where you need Chuck Liddell, since apparently he shouldn't be fighting ever again.
Yeah, I saw that one.
Okay, that's going to do it for news. We're going to take a break, and when we come back, it'll be time for the Rorschach test. You know, folks, there really is no other store that has as many sales as Alternate Reality. Beyond our signature sale of 15% off all new comics, we also have specialized sales peppered throughout the week, month, and year. For example, did you know that every Thursday is Ladies' Day at the store? That's right, ladies. Stop by the store and you'll save 20% off all of your purchases all day long. Ladies from 8 to 80 get a 20% discount on everything all day, every Thursday, only at Alternate Reality.
Okay, we're back. It's time once again for the Rorschach test. This time, Bo is going to give Rod and I a word, a phrase, a proper noun, a common noun. We're going to give him our first reactions to whatever this is. And Bo, what do you got for us today?
Movie theaters.
Movie theaters. I'm not quite sure how I feel about that. They've gotten more luxurious.
Much more.
The theaters, they've gotten more.
Sophisticated.
I don't know about sophisticated.
Eclectic.
Eclectic, yeah. Well, not really eclectic either, because they're more corporate than anything else. I mean,
they're always corporate.
Yeah, I know they're always corporate. But when you walked into an M&R theater, you could tell that was different from a General Cinemas theater as opposed to a Lowe's, cinema. They all had a different...
Well, you knew if you went to Ford City, you were watching a movie put on a concrete wall.
Yeah, but but you knew that was General Cinema,
right?
Because if you went down to the Lincoln Mall and saw a General Cinema movie.
Right.
You're watching it in a Quonset hut with a concrete wall.
With a concrete wall.
Okay, but that was what they were doing. Yeah. And there's still a corporate look from theater to theater. Now you've got the refreshment stands that carry everything but a 3-course dinner.
Oh, no, you can get a 3-course dinner.
They have
those, you can get a 3-course dinner.
Those crazy Coke machines where you can mix root beer and cherry Coke with a shot of vodka and go back for seconds and thirds later on. And I don't know if all that's good. I sort of miss the old crappy seat.
No, you don't.
Sticky floor days.
No, you don't. You remember you and I went and saw Das Boot?
I remember seeing Das Boot in a theater. Yes, I don't remember which theater it was though.
It was downtown. It was it was by Roosevelt. The Artist Cafe was next to it. Okay.
Yeah. I saw Roger and me there.
Yeah.
Not with you, but with someone else.
Das Boot, Old Scout Theater.
Yeah.
3-hour movie. Mm-hmm. By the first hour, you were ready to die. Because the seats were so damn uncomfortable.
Okay, those seats were made in like the 40s. If you're going to General Cinema at Ford City, that theater's thrown together in the late 50s, early 60s.
Yeah,
okay?
Much more comfortable seats.
Well, much more comfortable seats, but the same with all other theaters that we went to. Now, that movie theater you're talking about, it was in the auditorium building. It was part of that building.
Yeah.
It was a separate part of that building. It was in the back northeastern corner of that building.
You could go to the movie, you would come out to the Artist Cafe, have some food.
Okay, yeah, now that you're talking about, those are incredibly uncomfortable seats. But that was an anomaly.
Well, then you could leave that area and go to McClure Court.
Yeah.
And go see Spartacus. And it was like you're in a palace. Well, it's like, what the hell? I'm here. I'm in heaven.
McClure Court was luxury dining. I mean, you had a big curved screen, and the thing was half as wide as a football field when you're sitting there. Yeah. And you're sitting in the front row of McClure Court. There's a gap of like 25 feet between you and the screen in the front. It was just crazy. I remember we saw Lawrence of Arabia.
Lawrence of
Arabia. Yeah. And that was the theater to see Lawrence of Arabia in. And whenever I see Lawrence of Arabia, I think of that theater. Yeah. That was the theater to see that in, and that was an experience I won't ever forget. The same with Superman. You go to River Oaks.
Yeah.
River Oaks had a screen just like that, which I think I made a point of going to see it at that theater because it had a big curved screen. It actually had curtains that opened and closed at the beginning of the thing, and there was a big gap, just like at McClure Court, between the front row and the beginning of the screen. And it was an actual movie theater.
Yeah. See, when I saw Superman, in the Chicago theater. That's where I went.
I saw it in a bunch of venues. I saw it at Oak Street. I saw it at River Oaks. I remember I saw it at, I think it was the Colony over on 59th near Pulaski, I think.
It was about it,
Yeah, that theater, that was an old-style theater that had a balcony. Mm-hmm. But the seats were fairly comfortable there. Today you have recliners. I'm not comfortable in a recliner at a theater.
Not every theater has recliners. A lot of them do. I saw a tag at 600 North Michigan yesterday. All those seats are recliners. But if you go a little further down to River East 21, only some of them are, because they said if we redo this, we lose attendance in the theater. So some really, really good movies are in the Dolby Theater. The theater has like 150 seats, and that's it.
Yeah, but you know as well as I do, when they switch over from standard seating to those recliner seating, they lose at least 40% of their seats to do that, because the recliners are so big.
Yeah, you do. But when you get the recliners, then you got the food being delivered to your seat. So you got the little table there. You put your order in, and you go, okay, where are you sitting at? You're going to go here, and then they bring your cheese fries, your nacho, your chicken and waffles, or whatever they bring, and you eat it right there.
I miss it. I miss the old days. Met a girl in the theater. Made out of the theater. Saw a fight in the movie theater as a kid.
Oh, I always did.
Had a nice sit next to a family of rats in the theater, too.
I would go there.
Well, I am sure that's something that hasn't changed today either. Put as many recliners as you want in. At some point, you're going to see other animals there.
In most theaters now, they're not on the ground level.
No, I know, but there was actually a dog that was in a theater one time. And this was the Roseland Theater.
That explains it.
Now, what I really miss about the old theaters is the grindhouse style of movies they used to do. Back then, they used to have 3 movies. Bad Karate Picture. You had a blaxploitation picture, which was either Pam Grier or Fred Williamson, and you had the feature film, which is either a horror movie or an action picture. You basically had 3 hours, and that was probably one of the best Saturdays I've ever had, short of taking music lessons, was going to the theater on a Saturday. I can tell you, I saw this one horror movie I told Tim about called Sugar Hill.
Yeah.
Supernatural Woman. I saw Devil Dog the Hound from Hell in that one.
You paid for that?
Yes, I did.
Man, you were desperate.
And I saw the feature film The Beast Within, which is disgusting as it sounds. But see, that's what was good about going to the theater. The other thing I missed about that was that you can sit wherever you want to. Now, this whole thing where, which seat would you like to sit? We have these blocked out.
I'm not crazy.
I do not. I hate that with a passion.
Again, that's not every single theater. Some theaters are not like that. You buy a ticket, you go sit down.
I know I have to search for one.
You know what? I like picking my own damn seat.
Yeah.
You know why? When I went and saw Tag yesterday, she pulls up the little thing on the screen. I'm looking. I'll sit in F1. Why? Because there's nobody in F2 and there's nobody in F3, which means I can sit in this seat and I don't have to worry about somebody sitting next to me.
Right.
Yeah, but that's for that point in time. 10 minutes later, somebody could have come in and picked F2 and F3 and be sitting next to you. But you don't know that.
But 9 times out of 10, when you're picking up a ticket for the theater, if you're going to buy one as a seat, 2 is there, no one buys 2. Yeah. Because they look at it and they go, no, there's somebody saying, I don't want to sit there. I'll sit. Well, you got 3 empty seats over here. I'll sit there instead. You know, people pick and choose.
Well, you used to be able to do that. Yeah. If you got to the theater early enough, you just pick whatever seat you want. Right. You pick F2 instead of F1, and you sit there. And if the theater crowds up, at some point somebody says, could you move over? At which point you don't have to do that now. He said, well, I bought this ticket.
This is mine.
This is mine.
Well, no,
I paid for this seat.
For this seat. Yeah. But back in the day, okay, if you're sitting there, you'd have to move over. Unless you were like a jerk.
What you have to factor,
or if you put a coat on there and said, yeah, my date's coming.
My date's coming. What you have to factor
who never shows up
is if you're going to a theater where you're buying food, that's where they're going to deliver your food. That's why you're buying a reserved seat. Yeah. That's where your food's going. You're not going to stand there waiting for them to cook the food. You're going to go
lazy.
You're not in a restaurant asking the waiter for food. Okay, you're ordering a slider plate. You can stand there with him to cook it, or you can go sit your ass in the theater and get
okay, I'm an old school traditionalist that I may spring for nachos and a couple of things of candy or popcorn. I don't want no brisket brought to me. Why go to the movie then?
They want you to come out of your house.
No, you can
where
do
you
that
can watch it at home with your 65-inch TV. They want you to bring your butt to the theater because that's part of the experience. So you're going, well, if I'm getting food here, I have to buy food when the movie's over with. Getting reserved seats because you're ordering food, the food is being delivered to your seat, and you're picking where you want to sit.
It's funny me seeing somebody eating a brisket, sitting up there watching a movie, and going, oh, that's some great brisket there. Meanwhile, I done smuggled in 4 boxes of chocolate bars.
Well, see, but they don't care about that. They don't care about you bringing in chocolate or stuff you bought at the snack shop. What they're concerned about is you bringing a full meal.
Oh, I've done that.
See? Bad Rodney! Rodney!
I've done that.
Everybody has snuck candy.
I've done that.
Candy? No, he's talking about a meal. Yeah, I brought candy in as well. If I went to 7-Eleven, I got a sandwich. Yeah, I'm eating the sandwich all the time.
And
that is a meal.
Yeah, but they don't sell sandwiches.
Well,
it's not my fault they don't sell sandwiches.
If you got somebody who's walking in through and they got like a bag of chicken and something.
Oh, yeah.
Really? Come on now.
I've actually seen a person have a thing of Popeyes in the
It's like really? Really? You brought your new bag.
Well, see, back in the day...
Is it the people who are tearing your tickets can't smell the chicken in your bag?
Well, see, they don't care now because they're usually underage high schoolers that
Well, no, you can buy tickets and, the person at the cashier, she's the one who tears your ticket. Because there's nobody else there. You got someone.
I know you got the one that has the ticket and walk in there, but back then you couldn't sneak food in.
No, you couldn't sneak anything because they were watching your ass.
I remember they literally sat up there and go, so you can't eat that in here.
That too.
What? And no, you can't eat that in here.
That too.
You didn't buy that from the
That's what
concession.
winter is good for. Winter in big coats.
Yeah, wear big coats.
So anyway, gentlemen, before we get out of here, are there any final thoughts on your mind, what we talked about today, or on any other topic that has passed through your craniums over the last 60 minutes or so?
Cody McKenzie set up a GoFundMe page for the $944.84.
Wait, what? Who? Where?
McKenzie, he set up a GoFundMe page.
So far, he's raised how much?
He can't. Well, probably 20 cents. He can't pay his fine.
Well, he set up a GoFundMe page, and his fine is $944.
Yeah, it's his fine.
Okay, wait a minute. He is so poor that he can't afford a $1,000 fine.
The man went into.
So he has to start a GoFundMe page.
The man went into a UFC ring wearing shorts with a price tag on. Money, which you probably bought at Walmart.
We should check the price tag.
Look, the hair warmer thing. Didn't it dawn on him that if he put the tube through the urine,
even Johnny Storm's urine's not 98, 68 degrees.
What was the temperature?
They didn't give us the exact temperature because they were probably so dumbfounded. Like, what the hell? Why is it so hot?
What was it, like 120 degrees or something?
It was warmer than urine.
I mean,
if you do a urine sample, it should be what?
98.6 when it first comes out, and then it cools off.
Apparently this was like
any other.
So it probably did cool off when they was hosting. He'll feel it. What the hell?
The bottle was wrapped in a hand warmer, so it never was cold. Look, he didn't burn the hair off his leg, for Christ's sake.
Did you ever find out where they got the urine from? I mean, obviously it wasn't his.
They didn't ask.
He got it from somewhere. Whoever gave him the urine, well, they're culpable too in this.
He wasn't busted for the urine.
He was busted for trying to. But somebody had to pee in a bottle and then give it to him. Yeah. At which point, that makes them culpable.
Well, Mackenzie's never going to reveal who that is.
Oh, yeah, he sounds like he's just a genius.
For all we know,
when it comes to this stuff, they'll never wheedle that out of him. The man who's wearing trunks with a price tag on it, and he's got a bottle of urine wrapped in hand warmers. He's too much of a mastermind to break on that. You're never going to crack him.
He was going up to his room. He went to the bathroom before going to the room. He told somebody, he said, "Hey, I'll give you $50 if you can."
Even when you have a fever, even when your temperature rises above 98.6, it still cools down to room temperature.
Okay, even if this guy isn't a super genius, he knows that he has to get clean urine, so he has to know this person that he got the urine from. He just didn't stop somebody in the hallway and say, "Hi, is your urine clean?" Because he doesn't know that.
It's probably somebody else.
So it must be somebody he knows that he knows
somebody else on the card who had given the sample that was clean.
Well, that narrows down your suspects. That narrows it down considerably. You've gone from everybody on the face of the earth to whoever was on the card. And on that note, folks, we're going to wrap up another exciting episode of The Alternate Reality. Be sure to go to the store's website, though, myalternatereality.com, when you can find all of Bo's urine-soaked news.
Hey, my samples are always clean.
You can find all of JR's urine-soaked reviews.
He's clean,
and all of Vito Carly's partially urine-soaked reviews.
Vito's got Parmesan cheese.
And much, much more, including the store's shipping, the store's sales, and everything else you want to know about Alternate Reality, the store, which, as I said at the top of the show, located at the intersection of 111th and Kedzie in beautiful downtown Mount Greenwood. Alternate Reality, where our toilets never work, so don't ask to use them.
No fake urine samples here.
Until next time, folks. Rod?
Yes.
Say goodbye.
My urine is clean, ladies and gentlemen.
Good to know. Bo, say goodbye.
I didn't urinate all day.
Good for you. And this is Comic Book Man saying, bye! Thanks a lot for listening. If you enjoyed this show, please like and share it with all your friends. We value your feedback, so drop us a question, comment, show idea, or complaint either at aircomics@msn.com or, if provided, in the comments section down below on this platform. The opinions expressed in this episode are solely those of the individuals and not necessarily those of Alternate Reality Incorporated. This show is, as always, coming to you from the Alternate Reality Comic Shop, located in the heart of beautiful downtown Mount Greenwood at the intersection of 111th and Kedzie, serving Chicago comics fandom since 1994.
Now get out of here. I have to go back to reading everyone's emails over the PA system.